know we are here. We away, way, way. We are here, oh, we away. Oh, we are here, ho, ho, ho. Oh, we are here, hey, hey, hey. Oh, we are here, yo, hey, I know we are here. We away, way, way. We are here, ho, ho, ho.
There with that hook. Tony, watch yourself with the hook coming down. How you doing, Ray? Jack! Hey, Jack! Jack! That's the wrong one, right? The wrong one, right? Hold it, Jim! Watch your head there, John! Hold it, Jim! You gotta swing around, they gotta go way over there. You gotta swing about 5 feet, I don't make here.
There's a hold up in the Bronx. Brooklyn's broken out in fights. There's a traffic jam in Harlem that's backed up to Jackson Heights. There's a scout troop short a child who slips through a night alone. You do the rest. No.
Hey, get the fuck out! It's now or never.
Hey, all right. What a guy that Tony is.
Come hold me tight. No, you know what you gotta do for me? Billy, listen, yeah. Billy, listen to this.
Going up! Going up!
just don't love me no more.
intended.
Filmmakers and photographers over the years have always been fascinated with skyscraper construction as a subject. Lewis Hines documented the Empire State Building in still photography, which was another inspiration for making this film. And with my background as a still photographer, my film work is very much dependent on the power and the drama of the cinematography. And I don't use interviews, techniques, as many documentaries do. My approach is let the pictures tell the story, as a still photograph has to, because there is no sound connected with stills. And I carried that into my filmmaking technique and prefer to mix music, sound effects with the image to convey the drama of this, in this particular film, of the skyscraper being built, and do a portrait of the men who build the building in this style. So we don't hear them talking a lot, but we see how they work in a very dramatic photographic style. Well, the demolition of the previous building took 6 months, which is a long time, but the building was built in 1930, and it was a federal gold, what's called an assay office, where gold and silver was refined. So it was built like a fortress, so it took 6 months to demolish the old building, and then 2 years to build the new building. The demolition part is actually quite fascinating because it was done without any explosives. Because of all the buildings surrounding this location, they were not able to use any kind of explosive. So it's all done by a large wrecking ball and a crew of men with hammers, and manual hammers and pneumatic jackhammers. So that was quite fascinating, and you have to have eyes behind your head because there's 35 men working all around this location, destroying the building. So you have to be careful that where you're standing isn't about to be demolished. Use a lot of cameras. So I had, everyone who was on the crew in cameras dedicated to this project, many of which were locked off in buildings surrounding this location on automatic timers that would go off once a day to show the progress of the building. At the end of the film, there's a finale from these cameras of the building rising up out of the ground in about 5 seconds. And that 10 cameras were dedicated just for those shots, although they only take up a couple of minutes or less in the final 30-minute film. Most of the film was shot by myself and 2 other cameramen. Well, one in particular, the bulk of the film was shot by myself and Mike Frasino. And most of the photography took place right on the site, up in the top of the building with the men alongside of them. And that was the most dramatic and dangerous and interesting part of the film. The most difficult part was shooting at the top of the building, because just to get the cameras and the crew up to the building every morning for a shoot took about an hour and a half, because there's a workman's elevator that takes you up only so high, and then there's 3 or 4 floors that you have to go up vertical ladders to the top floor where they're working at the moment. So with ropes and pulleys and whatever we could, we would hoist up all the equipment and then set it up. The first day we arrived at the shoot to go up high, one of the construction workers saw us trying to figure out how to get the equipment up, and without saying a word, he just took a tripod, which is quite heavy, and started climbing up these vertical ladders. He just took the tripod in one hand and the other hand climbed up extremely fast, and said, come on up. and it was just that was to set the mood and the tone of how the men responded to us being there. We had to communicate with them to find out what was happening next, because the coordination of building one of these buildings, I still, after 2 years of being there, I'm not quite sure how they managed to coordinate the materials arriving. Everything is made in advance. All the beams have numbers on them, and they have to put it all together. And I still am not sure how they coordinated it all, but they did it. And we were in constant communication with the men, and especially the foreman at the top of the building, trying to ascertain from them where we should be, what's the next interesting thing to shoot, and they would do their best to explain